out there that has how it works.
Wayne, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Wayne.
Wayne, how it works. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to this simple program. Usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. They are such unfortunates. They are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which demands rigorous honesty. Their chances are less than average. There are those too who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. Our stories disclose in a general way what we used to be like, what happened, and what we are like now. If you have decided you want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then you are ready to take certain steps. At some of these we balked. We thought we could find an easier, softer way, but we could not. With all the earnestness at our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was nil until we let go absolutely. Remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling, powerful. Without help, it is too much for us. But there is one who has all power, that one is God. May you find him now. Half measures avail us nothing. He stood at the turning point. We ask his protection and care with complete abandon. Here are the steps we took, which are suggested as a program of recovery. 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, and our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscience contact with God as we understood him, praying only for knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Many of us exclaimed, "What an order, I can't go through with it." Do not be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. We are not saints. The point is that we are willing to grow along spiritual lines. The principles we have set down are guides to progress. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. Our description of the alcoholic, the chapter to the agnostic, and our personal adventures before and after make clear 3 pertinent ideas. A, that we were alcoholic and could not manage our own lives. B, that probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism. C, that God took me.
Thanks, Wayne. And I have a friend that has the promises out there.
Yeah.
Yay, promises. 1, if you are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. 2, we are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. 3, we will not regret the past nor wish to step real long. 4, we will comprehend the word serenity and we will know peace. 5, no matter how far down the scale we have gone, you can see how our experiences can benefit others. 6, the feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. 7, we'll lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. 8, self-seeking will slip away. 9, our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. 10, fear of people and economic insecurity will leave us. 11, we will instinctively know how to handle situations with use tobacco. 12, we will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises?
No.
They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, and always materialize if we work for them.
Thanks, Al.
Thanks, Al.
Thanks, Al.
And I have a friend that has the daily reflection.
I'm Jill, I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Jill.
October 12th, curbing rashness. When we speak or act hastily or rashly, the ability to be fair-minded and tolerant evaporates on the spot. That's 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 91. Being fair-minded and tolerant is a goal toward which I must work daily. I ask God, as I understand Him, to help me to be loving and tolerant to my loved ones, and to those with whom I am in close contact. I ask for guidance to curb my speech when I am agitated, and I take a moment to reflect on the emotional upheaval my words may cause, not only to someone else, but also to myself. Prayer, meditation, and inventories are the key to sound thinking and positive action for me.
Thank you.
And I have a friend that has the 24-hour day book.
My name's Wes, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Wes.
October 12th, AA thought for the day. Am I still on a free ride in AA? Am I all get and no give? Do I go to meetings and always sit in the background and let others do all the work? Do I think it's enough just because I'm sober and can rest on my laurels? If so, I haven't gone very far in the program, nor am I getting nearly enough of what it has to offer. I will be a weak member until I get in there and help carry the load. I must eventually get off the bench and get into the game. I'm not just a spectator. I'm supposed to be one of the team. Do I go in there and carry the ball? Meditation for the day. Try to be thankful for whatever vision you have. Try to perform, in the little things, faithful service to God and others. Do your small part every day in a spirit of service to God. Be a doer of God's word, not a hearer only. In your daily life, try to keep faith with God. Every day brings a new opportunity to be of some use. Even when you are tempted to rest or to let things go or to evade the issue, make it a habit to meet the issue squarely as a challenge and not to hold back. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may perform each task faithfully. I pray that I may meet each issue of life squarely and not hold back.
Thanks, Wes.
Thanks, Wes. And I have a friend that read as Bill Caesar.
Alright, this is from Alcoholics Anonymous, page 68, The Way of Strength. We need not apologize to anyone for depending upon the Creator. We have a good reason to disbelieve those who think spirituality is the way of weakness. For us, it is the way of strength. The verdict of ages is that men of faith seldom lack courage. They trust their God, so we never apologize for our belief in Him. Instead, we try to let Him demonstrate through us what He can do.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you. And let me see, we are self-supporting through our own contributions. I'll send the basket around. Announcements? I don't have anything. I think we've pretty much done everything for right now. Anybody got any announcements? I think we're caught up for right now. So, okay, next we have tokens. And Jim, can you do tokens?
I can do tokens. I'm Jim, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Jim.
This here meeting, we give out these here tokens. Help us celebrate the different lengths of sobriety, beginning with the 24-hour token, or willingness claim. Is anybody here for the first meeting that since their last drink would like a willingness claim? Anybody? And then we have 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Anybody there? How about 4 through 11 months?
I have 9 months, please.
9 months?
All right.
How about that? Way to go.
All right, Jared.
You see, what's 9 months, 10, 11 months? Nobody, anybody got a year?
I 365 days a day.
Very nicely done. Very nicely done.
I'm gonna share this with everybody because everybody needs to do this.
Thanks, buddy.
Looking at darn well done.
Good job. How did you do that? How did you do
You
that?
might be telling
I'm
us.
confident we might make the topic.
All right, there you go. All right.
Oh, well, cool.
Okay, any year thereafter. So if you haven't had a drink today, give yourself your high
All
five.
right. Okay, I think we'll go around and introduce ourselves. I think I'm Kevin and I'm an alcoholic.
I'm Tom, alcoholic. I'm sorry, Kevin.
I'm Travis, an alcoholic.
Chris, alcoholic.
Chris.
Andrew, Kevin,
Andrew.
Ryan's West, I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah, Wes.
I'm Jared Alcoholic.
And Jerry.
Wayne, I'm an alcoholic.
And Wayne.
Now I'm an alcoholic.
Al.
Jim alcoholic.
And Jim.
Joni alcoholic.
Hey, Joni.
Jill alcoholic.
Hey, Jill.
Jill alcoholic.
Hey, Jill.
I'm Doug, and I am an alcoholic.
Hey,
All
Doug.
right, Doug. And who we got? Who we got on the phone?
I'm Sharon with Open Alcoholic.
Hey, Sharon.
Okay, well, glad everybody's here. This is a league meeting, and I don't know what we're doing.
Hey, so I think Doug has his hand up because he's like, I would love to get a lift tonight. I have nothing better to do
Well,
for the next 35 minutes.
See, it all works out then.
It does.
We thought we had somebody coming to give a lead tonight, but maybe there was a mix-up somewhere. So we have a friend that has volunteered to share his experience, strength, and hope. And let me just introduce my friend, Doug.
If it helps you any, this exact same thing happened to me last night.
Yeah, Joni got ambushed yet last night.
Uh-huh.
I'm Doug and I am an alcoholic. I think I'm more prepared this time than the last time I was trapped into doing this on short notice. They grabbed me in the parking lot the last time. I came to this program defeated, wondering what I should do back when I was 48. I'm a little older than that now. I didn't get the program right away. It took me about 7 months of off and on. And it started to cling. Let's start at the beginning. I grew up Catholic between Maristein and Minster. We moved to Minster 2 weeks before I started first grade. So, and you know, with 4 brothers and sisters, it was average family for back then. You know, boomer town. And Dad was always busy, you know, doing his thing, and Mom was the academic, very good homemaker, good cook, good, how shall we say, guidance and everything, so. I really didn't have an excuse for being an alcoholic. Or so I thought. But my thinking wasn't on the up and up, because I blamed other people for this, that, and the other. You know, being the oldest of 5, I was expected to know all this stuff and be a leader. Well, nobody showed me how to be no leader, but I learned how to work, and I learned how to do for myself and be in school and do my reasonably well. We won't say we're no A student, because I wasn't. But I had a lot of friends in school that they influenced me because we used to play chess before school in the library and whatnot. And then when I was in high school, it was just after football season, and we was at the supper table, and Dad looked at me and he says, "About time you get a job." And I looked at him and I said, "I agree, I start Monday." Already had one lined up. So, you know, he didn't know what to say about that, because I was ahead of the game, or so I thought. But I learned how to drink beer in high school. Didn't particularly care for the taste at first, but I enjoyed the effect. Until the effect helped me get my nose busted one night by forgetting to engage the brain before operating mouth. You know, it was fun. You know, I graduated 28th in my class of 74. So, it was I was in between the average kids and the smart kids. And in office education and accounting, the average kids would ask me how to do the accounting stuff. You know, the accounting homework and that. We worked together and we got it figured out. And in my junior year, no, my senior year, I was looking for a prom date, and I went to this little place in Rushi called the Lost Sea. And I was hanging around a jukebox, and this young lady from Fort Laramie come along, and she needed a prom date too. Only it was to go to Fort Laramie, so I was going to 2 proms in 2 weeks with the same girl. And I thought, what the hell? I don't even know this. I don't even know this lady, you know. But anyway, I found out later she thought I was stalking her just because I was sitting around the jukebox there. And I had gone out with one of her friends before, but I didn't particularly care for that one, but anyway, this prom date ended up being my wife a number of years later. And we raised 3 kids, a single and a set of twins. You know, I became somewhat of a workaholic, and to chill I used to drink whiskey, and then it progressed to bourbon, and it was all right, and turned in from an occasional drinker to a heavy drinker, and then I had a little trouble with the state patrol. They decided I was a DUI suspect, and so I had to go to court for that and all that. And then after the second one of those, I decided that I might need this program, because I read about it in the paper. And I went to Minster on Sunday afternoon. I had my wife pick me up from work, because I had to work on Sunday. Meeting started at 3, and I got off work at 3, and she drove me a half a mile to the meeting. And then I got so it took me 9 months, 7 months, I don't remember, it's a long time ago. 7 to 9 months to get this program, because I was in for a month, out for a weekend, you know, back and forth for 7 to 9 months. Finally, New Year's Eve, I left work, and if I turned left, I went home. If I went straight, it was going to the package store. And I ended up in the parking lot of the package store, and I thought, you know, I got a friend coming over, and he likes blackberry brandy, and his wife likes a little nip. And then I thought to myself, what am I doing here? So I drove out the other side of the parking lot and went home. When I got home, you can tell how long ago this was. We used to have one of them little boxes that sit next to the telephone. It was called an answering machine. And when I checked the little box when I got home, there was a message on there that said they weren't coming. They had found other plans to do. Leaving that parking lot was God doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. Because I would have been left with a bottle of blackberry brandy and God knows what else I would have thought of for a little nip for her. And that was the start of good sobriety, you know, God doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. And it went well for quite a few years. then my wife got sick. For 27 months she lived with God knows what fears, because they had to eliminate all these things, and they finally came, by process of elimination, they came up with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. I knew a week before she did, because I went in, we had the same doctor. My doctor told me that it was muscular something syndrome. There's a list of 7 different diseases in that. And there was that disease that Jason Hawkins had, ALS, fast-moving ALS, Crutchfield-Jacobs disease, post-polio syndrome, South Pacific Islander syndrome, and something else, I don't know. Well, it was moving too fast to be that Jason Hawkins thing. So it was either ALS or fast-moving ALS, because she wasn't related to the Kennedys, Crutchfield-Jacobs. She never had polio. She sure as heck wasn't a South Pacific Islander. And she wasn't the other thing, so I had it figured out before the doctor told her. Oh, MS is in there. MS is in there, so. And it was the most horrible secret I had to keep. Because what if I was wrong? It wasn't up to me to tell her, because what if I was wrong? So I went with her to the doctor down in Miamisburg, where they let the resident tell her. And he hemmed all around about it and this and that. I said, and I asked him some questions, and I said, is it this? And he says, no. Is it that? And he said, no. I said, are you sure? And he says, yeah. Because she was already on a walker from Easter to August. She was already on a walker. Because they tested for stroke, and Lord knows how many other things, and this is how they come up with this. And we went home. She was terrified, and I was trying to comfort her. And then, when we got home, I had notification that I was supposed to go on a hunting trip up in Canada. And they wanted my final payment. I said, I'll just stay home. And she looked at me and she says, you're going. I said, are you sure? Because this is a pretty big step. You're going. So, my brother-in-law come over. You heard of Doubting Thomas? Well, this was Doubting Thomas on steroids. he, thought I wasn't doing enough and all this, and it was just crazy, you know. And then when he found out I was going to Canada for a hunting trip, he really thought that was goofed up. So in the week I was gone, my wife and him got an appointment up at Cleveland Clinic. And if I come home a day early, I could meet him in Cleveland at my daughter's house, and we could go and find out together. So my friend dropped me off at my daughter's house up in Cleveland on Sunday. We left early from Newfoundland to go to Cleveland. And I stayed at her house, and then on Monday, her and me went over and met my wife and them at the Cleveland Clinic, and lo and behold, they come up with the same diagnosis. Wasn't exactly the same, because there's 6% of the people that have ALS, and it's on steroids. It's extremely fast moving. So that was one of the motor neuron diseases, and she was given 2 years. The original thing was 4 to 6. She was given 2 years in Cleveland Clinic, and she lived 13 months. 13 months after the diagnosis. And I got a team together with my son, who is still living at home. He worked 3rd shift, so he had day shift. I worked day shift. And I had night shift. My daughter-in-law came in and helped us. And she did the cleaning and that kind of stuff. So I took care of the bills and the arranging medication and the tubular feedings and all of that. And then New Year's Day that year, we were having a family meeting on what to do. And we went around the table, and finally I looked at the girls. Somebody made a decision and said we should do this, and I said I agree. But she won't listen to me. So I looked at the girls and I said, you and you go in and talk to her. By that time, my doubting Thomas brother-in-law had snuck in the front door and was sitting there talking to her. And there's 3 hospitals in the state of Ohio that deal with ALS. Cincinnati, Columbus, and Cleveland. They're all along 71. And my doubting Thomas insisted we go to Columbus. So that was the first one I called. They weren't open. It was New Year's Eve. They weren't open. So I called the one in Cincinnati, and they said, come on in, bring her in through the emergency room. So we went down there. Have you ever spent New Year's Eve in the emergency room waiting around? Oh my God. But anyway, it came to pass that she stayed a few days, and I got things ready at home. And the doctor called and got things more ready at my house. Amazing what them boys have for power to get medical people to do things. You know, beds and hoists and all this. And it was a long time. Then my daughter was getting married in July. End of July she was getting married. And she wanted to move it up because Mom might not be there. And I said, well, you plan it the way you want to do it. However, if she goes early, she'll be able to participate and be happy with you. And if you keep it where it's at, it'll give her something to live for. I can tell you by 7 years ago, next week, I lived with that woman for 40 years, 2 days, 40 years, 4 months, and 2 days. And then it was over. By that time, I had been hospitalized for being worn out. I knew neither joy nor sadness. I was just numb. I was diagnosed with hypervigilantism because if the refrigerator went into defrost in the middle of the night, on the other side of the house, I heard it. I started drinking before she died, just because I either wanted to sleep, needed to sleep, but lo and behold, it didn't help. Didn't help. And in that time, I got used to not going to meetings. And when it was over, I didn't want to go to meetings. I should have gone to meetings, but I didn't. And then I started being more sociable. And at a club, I met a woman in the program who was a nurse. And she was disabled. She had a bad back, and Lord knows what. And we went out together for a while. And then at a rock concert, she sat down in the grass and went to sleep. Unbeknownst to me at that time, she was smoking weed with some funny sprinkles on it. I don't know what the sprinkles were. And then at my granddaughter's birthday party, I got a phone call that said she was dead. She had OD'd. So I'm doing 2 for 2 here. Now what the hell's going on, you So, that didn't help my drinking problem any at all. I think it accentuated it. And then I met this other woman after a time at grievance classes. And she was all right. I think in my phone she's the grievance counselor. But anyway, I got a phone call a couple weeks ago. She got married. Good for her. She found somebody that she can be friends with and not try to change me. Because she was trying to change me. And then I got invited to stay with the Shelby County Sheriff's Department for a few days because of DUI incident, driving under suspension, what all. And first time I ever been in jail. To say it was a unique experience is it's an understatement. There was a gentleman in there who tried to explain to me how to steal from Walmart and whatnot. Sounded like he was a professional at it, the way he had it figured out.
He's in jail, yeah.
And then I talked to somebody else and I learned a whole new language on what they call certain illicit substances and where to get them and stuff. I didn't need none of that. I was already in enough trouble with the DUI. And then I got out and I've been coming to these meetings on a regular basis since I've been out. And since I got my driver's license back, I've been able to go to meetings that I wanted to instead of had to. And I'm very glad you all are still around and waiting on me because you all sure helped me the first time and this time. And I can actually smile nowadays because I've met some new friends, some old friends, and never ask God for patience because He will give you the opportunity to practice patience. Believe me. During my tenure as head caretaker, we built 2 cranes in the house, one in the bedroom, one in the bathroom. I went to the weld shop and I got aluminum I-beam, and I went to different places and I got things. And we built 2 cranes in the house for the price of 1/3 of what one cost out of the medical journal. By the way, I have 2 cranes for sale.
Yeah.
1 power unit, but I still have 2 cranes for sale and I have some leftovers. So, if anybody needs a light crane that can move stuff.
A lift? Is that what it is? Lift? A lift?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
It's a rail.
Hmm?
It's a rail crane, like they have in factories.
Oh, okay, that's not what I thought.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be sober at this time. And I've been happy to share at this time because I needed to share at this time. Just because of what time of year it is. And with that, I pass.
Thanks, Dave.
I'm Kevin, I'm an alcoholic. Thank you, Doug. We have a little certificate, and I believe everybody signed the back of it for you. And I can't tell you how long ago it's been, but it's been quite a few years that you came over here a few times for a while. And that's been a while. It's been a while back. I don't know how long, but it's been a while. And and then that when I would get over maybe to Minster once in a while or New Bremen, I'd run into you once in a while and remembered you. And then now I see you pretty regular. I don't get over that way all the time, but usually when I do, you're around over there. And, there's no easy way to go through what you went through. And, today, you're with a good group of people. That's what we're here for. We're here for people when they have to go through hard times. And, thank you for doing that on short notice. And it's customary to pass it around for comment. And I'll just open it up. Whoever wants to make comment.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah.
I met him about 363 days ago, for the first time. And it's just been a pleasure to know you, and that was not one easy story to tell. You did a great job coming in here, no more prepared than what I would have been, so it was a great job. It's been a pleasure being your friend, hope to be your sober friend for a long time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alan.
Congratulations, Jerry.
Jim, on alcoholic.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah, congrats, Jared, that's awesome. And Al, that's amazing, nice job, amazing for sure. Doug, thanks so much for responding positively to the ambush lead. and if you found some value in it for you at the end, that's all the better, that's great. That's how everyone said that. I try to be intentional when I feel that time. It was good to get to know you a little bit better through the story. You told it very well. And we're all glad you're back in. Thanks.
Joni, I'm an alcoholic.
And Joni?
At the end of my lead last night, mine was the same kind of deal. Kind of walked in and I was fun and I was fun. And, but, I felt as if, well, either somebody needed to hear something from my higher power. And if they didn't, I sure did. Because I don't think I've ever given a lead where it hasn't helped me remember and not want to go back there again. So, thanks so much. And it was good to get to know you. There's a special lady that I don't really see much anymore. So you can bring her around all you want. And, I'm really excited to see where this takes you guys. Jill's one of my besties, and I love seeing her happy. So, with that, I will pass.
Thanks, Jenny. My name's Tom, alcoholic.
Tom.
I want to say a lot of bad things can happen to us alcoholics when we're out there, and a lot of bad stuff happened to you. Not to you, but that affects you. And you stayed sober through it all. And I'm really glad you're here. I like seeing you in the meetings. You're nervous. You make me nervous sometimes because you're quiet all the time. But I'm glad you're there because when you talk, you say something. That's all.
Thanks, Tom.
My name's Wes, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Wes.
Thanks for your lead, Doug. I think I met you a couple of years ago already, so you had the New Bremen meeting. Yeah, over time, I think I've gotten used to, your rate of speech, and it's a good way to keep people's attention because they go, okay, I have to listen close because he's being careful and it's an endearing quality and it works. And I'm sorry you had to go through what you had to go through. But acceptance and surrender are the ways we get through. That's all I got.
Thanks, Wes.
Thanks, Wes.
I'm Andrew, recovering alcoholic.
Hey, Andrew.
I want to thank you for sharing with us. I think I've been through a lot, but probably not as much as some other people. But I lost my wife also, but I didn't know it was going to happen until the day it happened. And I don't know. It's real rough. Terrible situation, but I just want to thank you for sharing with us.
Thanks.
Andrew. Anybody else? Anybody on the phone? Okay. Well, thanks again, Doug. And if you would close this up with the Lord's Prayer.
Sorry, Jim, I'm holding in your hand.
Who keeps us sober today? Now it's just